I would really like to share space with Ranveer Kapoor and Siddharth Malhotra as well.
Yes, I know about Siddharth Malhotra.
You know,
He's pasted. Yes, yes, he's pasted all over your Instagram. Your crush.
yeah, he was.
He broke your heart, did he? You were so young when you started it. What made you think I want to do this?
I realized that this is actually my passion. And I want to do more of it. I want to improve in my craft. I want to connect to audience more.
What was it like being a part of the cast in Bombay Begums?
I think it was a great start, and I couldn't ask for more.
Do you have a mentor?
I have my mom, who's always been there since the start. So she's always been my mentor, in terms of
What is your understanding of success?
not the heroine of Bollywood, but doing more characters and playing diverse roles where people recognize me for it and they can be like, listen, she is a great actor.
So you say that a number of people go for hundreds of auditions and they don't land a role.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be the case?
See, it honestly depends from.
How do you deal with disappointment and rejection?
It takes, for me personally, it takes some time to get over, in the sense probably 2-3 days or 1 week at max. But it's not like I'm gonna sit and cry over it. What's done is done. Just get up, get better, and just move on.
What advice would you give other individuals about this, young actors?
And you have to be thick-skinned, otherwise you can't survive in the industry.
Have you ever faced any form of discrimination or biases within the industry?
Uh,
Aadhya Anand, a teenage actress who was born in India but grew up in Singapore. She took Bollywood by storm when she did the web series Bombay Begums. I've had the wonderful opportunity of speaking with Aadhya Anand. Let's welcome her on Inner Habit.
Aadhya, welcome to Inner Habit. How are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am so glad that you made it on this podcast today. I truly appreciate the fact that you made it on this podcast today. There are a number of reasons. I have looked you up thoroughly because I watched By the Way. And one of my biggest interests, and it has always been, was to get you on my podcast, get a teenager on my podcast. For example, I was trying to get hold of the Lapata ladies, girls as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the other options that I did have, and I did email them. But they must be really busy because I think that film has gone for a number of awards abroad. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Aadhya, first to start with.
About me, hi, I'm Aadhya Anand, and I shifted to Mumbai 3-4 years ago. I was raised in Singapore, and I've been shuttling between Singapore and Mumbai for quite some time now. So I started off as a child model in Singapore, and that's when I moved on to acting, and then shifted my acting career from Singapore to Mumbai. Now all my work happens here.
So, what was that transition like for you?
The transition was not easy. I mean, obviously, it isn't, because you've been raised in Singapore in a certain place with your entire family, and suddenly that change, it's not going to be easy. So it happened all because of this one audition for Bombay Begums that I gave. And initially, the fun fact is they didn't know that this audition was coming from Singapore, and they just went on shortlisting till they realized that I'm from Singapore. Especially for a pan-Indian audition, it is not an everyday thing that you get auditions from out of India. So that worked out luckily, and that has been the most grateful moment. And that is what caused this entire shift. I shifted to Mumbai along with my mom and my sister, and my dad's still in Singapore. So it was not an easy process, but I got used to it.
It's very different when you think about acting in Singapore because it's so nice out in Singapore. So I've been there, obviously. When you go from Australia, you have to stop in Singapore. And it's such a beautiful, clean place. And then you come to Mumbai and there's hooting. It's just a system shock temporarily.
Huh. Yes, no, I get that. I get what you're saying. But for me personally, I have now become a Bombay girl. I've completely forgotten, I mean, not forgotten about Singapore, but I feel I really like the hustle and bustle of this city. And it really keeps me lively. I feel like Singapore is pretty mechanical that way, eat, sleep, drink, repeat. But just Mumbai is just something different. And I just really love this place.
I totally agree with you. In some way, Australia is like that too. So you know what it would be like then.
Yeah.
So, Adya, tell me something. Tell me how you got into acting in Singapore. That amazes me, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
You were so young when you started it. What made you think I want to do this?
Okay. So I, as I told you, I started off as a child model where I won this Fox model hunt. I got best catwalk, and I was doing a bunch of brand campaigns, and I was walking the runways. And there's this one director, K. Rajagopal. He spotted me there, and he called me in for an audition for this international movie. So basically, I have been a Bollywood fanatic since the longest time. Okay, I've loved watching Bollywood movies. Jab We Met, Kal Ho Na Ho, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, and all those classics, right? And I went to give my first audition. It was something very different because as a model, if you're going into the acting industry, it's very different. You have a lot of cameras on you. You have people directing you to be a certain way. So it was a bit overwhelming, and I was a bit uh, overwhelmed at that entire process. But the director, the ads, they made it so easy for me during the audition. I was able to pull through. I think we had 3 to 4 auditions and I cracked my first project. And that's how I got my first movie. My first project was an international movie that went to the Cannes Film Festival. So after that, I realized that I am more intrigued, to know more about what this industry is all about and how much better I can do. And but as a kid, you so many things don't come to your mind initially. You're just like, there's so many people working around you, you're getting food, you're getting this, you're getting that, you're getting pampered on set. But as you grow up, you realize that I realize that this is actually my passion. And I want to do more of it. I want to improve in my craft. I want to connect to audience more.
I'm going to ask you a very interesting question.
Hmm.
Uh, the question is, when you say that and it's a passion, a lot of people then get into doing films and then it becomes sort of their livelihood because it's a money making thing.
Hmm.
How do you balance that? Because a lot of people who end up going for the money
Hmm.
then feel like they're not enjoying what they initially enjoyed to do.
So, my main thing is to always go behind what I feel like doing, because my main thing is always the characters that I'm going to play and the projects that I take up, because that is what is going to build my arc in the future. And that is something which is going to build me. I feel like right now, of course, it is a money making process and all that, but right now, my main thing is to give audience all variations and shades of how you can see Aadhya Anand on screen. So yeah, that's how I see it. Money is one aspect to it, but not the main thing always.
So, what was it like being a part of the cast in Bombay Begums? Because it's a fantastic series. It was quite a big cast and well recognized cast.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So this was my first project in India, and it was crazy because it was my first Indian project, and it was for Netflix series, one of the 5 leads. And I'm just around amazing women, amazing cast, amazing crew. And I did feel a bit hesitant and scared at first because you're a kid amongst so many people in a different country, you don't know how to be. But I think slowly I did get used to it because it's on a grander scale, and there were so many people who were taking care of me. Everyone on set took care of me, pampered me, and I just, I'm so grateful for that, especially my co leads, Amruta ma'am, Pooja ma'am, Plabita, Shahana. they have been just great to me, and I think it was a great start, and I couldn't ask for more.
Okay, so here's another question for you, different one.
Hmm.
When did you realize that you had become a teen star? Because at some stage your Instagram probably blew up.
Yeah, but I think I wouldn't consider myself a teen star yet, because I feel like I have a long way to go. Thank you. But I feel that um, after Bombay Begums, I started getting recognized a lot for my craft, for my work, for the character. And assistant directors, called me up personally. Directors and all my friends, they called me up personally, and they were like, "Listen, you're young, but you've nailed this." And that was such a good feeling, when you realize that you can touch people's hearts with your work. And I think more than my Instagram popping up or becoming famous, I feel like this is what really matters to me the most. But of course, I mean, even my Instagram blew up and all that after Bombay Begums, after I did Crushed. And yeah, I just feel that's how it happened. And I feel great. Again, I wouldn't consider myself a teen star yet. I have a long way to go, and I will be doing much more. But yes, I do see myself at the top someday.
How do you prepare for a role like the one you did in Crushed?
Okay, so for every project, we have workshops and all that. But for Crushed, we had, of course, we had workshops with the directors, ADs, everyone working collectively to build a project and build characters together. And along with that, we had dialect workshops because we needed that Lucknowi slang. And initially, I mean, everyone did have a bit of a problem with that, problem in the sense we were not able to get it at first. But when we started spending more time, and spending more time in Lucknow as well, it was a smoother process for us. So that happened. For me personally, the characters that I do, I make sure that I identify the similarities and differences. Similarities is just easy for me to connect and know how to be a certain way when there's a scene. But when it comes to differences, I try to ask for notes and directions from my director so that it can help me get into the shoes of the character before the shooting starts. And that way, I will know the nuances and how the character would play or be in a certain situation, because at the end of the day, it is the character who's going to touch hearts. It's the character who is going to relate to the audience. It is not me it's not me who's going to relate. It's the character, and as an actor, that's my job to do it. So that's just how it all comes along.
It's very interesting you say that, because I had an interview with Neeraj Kabiji.
Hmm.
Neeraj Kabi?
Yeah.
And this was a couple of days ago. And then
Hmm.
something he said is and it's very, I want to tell you this because I think
Hmm.
it may resonate with you, but it may also
Yeah.
help you. The one thing he said is there's always a mind, body, and soul connect
Hmm.
when you select a character.
Yeah.
If you're able to connect these three, then you will be right into that role. And I feel from what
Hmm.
I have seen him do is because he gets these three balanced, he then does so well.
Yeah, because this shows on screen. And as an actor, I feel everyone just has to dedicate themselves to the role, just completely give yourselves to the character, and that's when you can bring out the best product. And that's how people will be able to be like, "Oh, I relate to this character. Oh wow, this person has really brought out this character so well." So I completely agree with that. Yeah.
What are your biggest influences in the industry?
Biggest influences in the industry. Okay, so I've also grown up watching Deepika Padukone movies, and her body of work and the way she just is as an actor, as a personality, her aura, I'm just stunned. I still feel she is the goddess of Bollywood. And I really admire how much she's worked herself, you know, even in terms of even in terms of personally, you know, where she was struggling with her mental health and all that, and she's overcome all of that. So being an actor, being at such a big stage, you are able to talk about all these problems that you're going through, and other people are able to relate with you. And I think that's something that's a really strong thing that she has. So as an actor, she really influences me. As a personality, she really influences me. And I would want to, I would want to see more of her and be like her. So she is my influence in the industry. And apart from that, King Khan, obviously, we all know how much he struggled and how and what level he is right now. So yeah.
So, what is it for you? Is it the fact, okay, Deepika Padukone is definitely on a different level, different tangent. She does diverse roles. So does
Yeah.
Alia Bhatt. I find Alia
Yes.
Bhatt quite interesting
Yes,
as
of
well.
course. Hmm.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned King Khan. King Khan is very successful. You know, he's got that sense of humor, but he also has success that comes with it.
Yes. Yes.
So, what is your understanding of success? And is that something you strive to want, or is it not what you strive to want? I'm trying to get into your mindset.
Oh, what do you mean exactly? Success in the sense.
What is your understanding of success?
So my understanding of success is being able to reach millions of people, not in a way where I'm the heroine of Bollywood, or I am, you know, I'm just like not the heroine of Bollywood, but doing more characters and playing diverse roles where people recognize me for it and they can be like, listen, she is a great actor. She knows how to switch when it comes to roles. She knows she is flexible in that sense. And when people recognize me for that and they start saying things like that, that's when I know that I've achieved success. And, when I'm going to do more work, when people come up to me for more work because they're like, oh, I've seen you in this, you do this really well, I think you'll fit this role. So that's what my understanding is, and I want to achieve it, and I am on that path. So yes.
So tell me, what sort of specific challenges do you encounter as a young Bollywood actress, or even a teen Bollywood actress?
As a young Bollywood actress, see, I started off as a child actor in Singapore, and I did not face any challenges as such when I first started off. And as I started growing, I mean, I'm still young. I haven't reached that stage. I'm just 17, 18. So I haven't reached that stage where, I'm going to face like challenges. But as far as I know, there are many uh, celebrities, many actors, many actresses who are judged for every single thing that they do, like a picture or a certain move. And people are so quick to judge. What they don't realize is that we are ordinary human beings. And you never know what's going on at the back of their mind or what the whole scenario is even about. So, when they see a certain celebrity or an actor acting a certain way, they're the first to make noise about it. And I just feel the world can be a bit nicer and do better, because this world is all about love, so spread love.
I totally agree with you. And we could do more and more and more of that and just be better people.
Exactly.
Aadhya, tell me, how do you go through an audition process? Like, you obviously want to be a top star, right?
Yeah.
Naturally, everyone does.
Yes.
But they have rounds and rounds of auditions that they need to go through. How do you deal with that pressure?
So I think the main pressure that I have is not from the outer world, but it's me within myself. I pressurize myself in a healthy way, to do better. I get feedback from the casting directors, the directors sometimes, and the assistant directors. They give me feedback and they're like, can you do this better or a certain way? And this industry is all about, just doing an audition. And obviously, there are so many people who don't get locked for a certain project, and you just have to keep trying and trying and trying. So it's all about being resilient. And yes, I do get feedback. Sometimes it does not work out, but I think it's all about just letting go. You've done something, you've done your best, do better next time. So I focus on that more rather than just feeling pressurized about, oh no, I didn't get this, why did I not get this, and then just start thinking so much about that. I don't think that's healthy at all. And I think the only way to go about this is to understand the feedback, learn from it, do better, and that's how you're going to progress in life.
Very true. So tell me, do you feel like you have to attend plenty of auditions? Some people at the top have got it easy. Some of them don't even have to attend auditions.
Yeah. Yeah, so I there are a few auditions which I get, which it doesn't have to be necessarily auditions. Like, they see that I've seen you in Crushed, I've seen you in Bombay Begums, I've seen you in Friday Night Plan. This is a similar character, or I feel like I've seen your acting, I feel like you can pull this off. Can we do like something like a screen test, or just give me an audition and we'll lock you. So that has happened quite a few times as well. But at the same time, I have gone through plenty of rounds of auditions, and some have worked out, some have not worked out. But yeah, I think that's what this whole industry is about. That's how everyone starts off. You just keep giving auditions no matter the amount of rounds. You just have to keep giving it, doing it, and by God's grace, hopefully something gets locked.
Aadhya, tell me, you mentioned screen test. The thing with me is I want to learn more about that process because I love technical stuff.
Okay.
What is a screen test?
Okay, so screen test is usually done after you finalize a character. So a screen test is done once all the formalities are over, and the actor is called for a screen test in the sense you act out a scene with the rest of the characters, like the rest of the actors, a proper scene from the series or the movie. But it's not gonna go on air. It's just like a practice thing, just a day or two before the shoot, or sometimes it happens a week or 2 weeks before. So everyone's present there, the director, the crew, the DOP, which is the cameraman, and they shoot that small scene just to figure out and just to get a understanding of how the feel and how the shooting process is going to be. So that's what a screen test is, and it's also to see how well you're able to fit on the screen as a group, as a character, and how you're able to play it out, and if this is going to work, and if we are 100% sure that we would want to shoot with this environment.
So now I'm going to ask you a few different questions.
Mm-hmm.
You left school, I assume, in Singapore.
Yes.
To pursue this acting career. Do you go to school in India, or is your life totally dedicated to what you enjoy?
No, so my school days are over. I was a top student in Singapore, but obviously when the focus is 50-50 now with studies and acting, I won't say I'm a 90 student, but I do pretty well. So I finished up till 6th grade, which is the board exam grade in Singapore. I finished that. I was shooting for Bombay Begums. I had enrolled in a school here as well. I got done with that, and yeah, so it's basically that. I'm doing distance right now, so I can focus more on my acting. But at the same time, I do want to complete college, complete everything, and just get a degree. And
what type of degree do you think you'll get, given that you are an actor?
So I am studying business management. Yeah, so my dad is also the vice president of an American bank, and I have always been inclined towards business and math and the numbers side than compared to science always. So I want to do something in this field also, business, just keep it as a side thing.
Really good.
Yeah.
Have you ever faced any form of discrimination or biases within the industry?
Faced any form of biasness or discrimination? No, not really, actually. I feel that my work speaks for itself, and everything that I do in terms of giving auditions or acting on screen, if people find me to be good, they are going to reach out to me. And yeah, basically my work speaks for itself, and I know that what is for me is going to come to me.
How do you cope with demands of long shooting, basically? Where you have to go shoot for long, long hours. How do you deal with that?
So, obviously, when you're getting into this field, when you're getting into this line, you know what comes with it. It's not all rosy, and not just fame and wow, beautiful, this, that. It comes with a lot, and long working hours. Right now, for me, I don't see long working hours as a hectic process. I mean, obviously, it's hectic, but at the same time, I enjoy doing it, which is why I don't think too much about it. So I enjoy doing it, and I make sure I take care of myself, my mental health, my eating, drinking on time, and everything is basically just taken care of. And I make it an effort. I'm put in an effort to make sure that it doesn't, my normal routine doesn't get disrupted because of the long working hours. Yeah. But it's very normal in this industry. I feel like long working hours everyone just gets used to after a certain point of time, and you just start enjoying it. Since I've always loved acting and loved being in front of the camera, I don't take it as much of a you know struggle.
You go to the gym, I assume, because you do have to.
Yes, I do go to the gym.
How many hours does an actor on average go to the gym, do you think? And I'm only asking because I'm always intrigued about this, because you get so many photos
Yeah.
of people coming out of the gym and stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that. So I'm not sure. I think it varies from actor to actor. And there's so many actors who go, not just go to the gym to work out, but they do Pilates as well. That's like another form of, just keeping yourself fit, maintaining. I tried Pilates for a bit, but um, I just decided to stick to my normal gym routine.
What
So
happened, Adhya, with Pilates?
I think you need to be mentally in that space where you feel like, yeah, I want to be, because when it comes to Pilates, you have to be really patient and really resilient, and you have to just carry it on for a long time. But I'm used to, going to the gym, working out my way, doing my exercises and all that. So it's different for every person, every actor, every actress. For me, I go for about 1.5 hours. It depends on the exercises I do, whether it's my leg day, back day, or my core workout. It basically just depends on that.
So, when your parents first found out that you were going to audition for an Indian or international movie,
Mhm.
or even Bombay Begums, what was
Yeah.
their reaction?
So, my mom has been an active part of my journey throughout since the start. So she was the one who, in fact, first came across this audition. It was a pan Indian audition, and the casting director at that time, Salman, I mean, we didn't think much about it. He just said that it's a pan Indian audition. We don't know, but just give it a shot. So mom always helps me record my auditions. So I did it. We sent it forward, and this process went on for like 6 months, and my dad and mom both were aware of it. And at the start you don't think much about it. When you see like a great opportunity, you just go for it, and you think of the rest later. So this went on for a good 6-7 months, and the funny thing is, um Endemol Shine, the production house, as well as the directors and everyone who was a part of it, did not know that this my audition was coming from Singapore. They thought it was somewhere from India, and it just got shortlisted and shortlisted and shortlisted. Finally, the director decided to cast me for the role, and that's when they realized that I'm not from India. I'm from Singapore. So that was a bit of a surprise, but my director, Alankrita ma'am, was really keen on having me. And that's when my family made a decision to, shift. First, it was going to be just me and my mom who shifted to Mumbai for my acting career. And then my sister came. My dad's still there, as I said. But they've always been supportive of it. And I'm really thankful, because it's not something normal. Like, this is not what, and my family has gone the extra mile just for me, and I couldn't ask for anything else. So Yeah, they've always been really proud of me. They've always been happy with all the things that I've done. And otherwise, this shift would have not happened. They've really made a big sacrifice, shifting from Singapore. So, yeah.
I'll tell you something, you're really blessed.
Yes.
Make the best of this opportunity, is what I'll tell you. Do you think your sister may also act in the future?
My sister, in fact, she did her first project, Gehraiyaan, on it was a movie, Deepika Padukone, Siddhant Chaturvedi, and Ananya Pandey.
What role did she play?
She was playing young Deepika Padukone. The movie starts off with her. It was there just in the initial part of the movie, but finally, she had just gone for this modeling thing. Mom had taken her for this modeling campaign audition, and they were surprisingly auditioning for this movie. And my sister had to just go in. My mom was not aware of this the entire time. She thought that she's just going for this modeling campaign thing, but she was just sitting outside. And later, when she came out, my sister told my mom that they, auditioned me for something else also. And we till date we have no idea what she talked about or what pictures she's given or what happened. And she was 4 at that time, 4 5, if I'm not wrong. Yes. And yeah, so she got casted for it, and she had a shoot in Goa for 2 3 days. So that happened, but after that she came back home and she's like, I'm never doing this again. So no, I don't think my sister wants to go down that line.
She was young, things may change.
Yeah, things may change, but at the same time, I was 6 7 when I started my career, and I knew
And
that.
you knew it.
Yeah. So my sister's much older now. She's 11, 10, 11. So, but she's sure she doesn't want to do that.
How do you stay so grounded amongst all this success and all this fame that you are starting to sort of build up and get?
I honestly feel so. My parents have always told me one thing: to stay grounded, to stay humble, do not fly, because I feel it is your family, your friends who support you, who back you up, and your supporters, your fans, your followers who also give you so much love to bring you till a certain extent. And I think that it is very important to know your roots, to know where you come from, you know, because I don't see any point of being, having an attitude or not staying humble, because that doesn't take you a long way. And honestly, I've seen that with many people. So I am sure that me as a person, I am not like that. And I want to be humble. I enjoy whenever someone comes up to me and they say that, oh, I've seen you in this, I've seen you in that, and they admire me, and they tell me how much they adore seeing me on screen. That's like an achievement for me. And it always hits me. It always, I always keep saying it to myself that it's because of them that you're here today. And if you're going to keep an attitude or something of that sort, it's not going to help you at all. Be nice, spread love, get love. That's what it's about. So
It's very important to be grounded, and I'll tell you why. Whatever's made you can also break you,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
So your audience makes you who you are.
exactly.
One wrong move and they'll break you too.
Yeah.
So always stay humble, always stay grounded, and you will do well.
Yeah.
How do you deal with disappointment and rejection? Now, on one side, you said you just let it go. But if you wanted this fantastic role and it slips out of your hands, how do you deal with that? And it's probably happened. You never know.
So I'll tell you, I had auditioned for this series and a movie, a big scale movie and a series, and I got locked for both. I'll come to the whole disappointment and rejection later, but I got locked for both, and I had to choose between one of them, because this was at the same, in the same timeline. So I chose one, and when I went for the other look tests and all the readings and all that, it was not fitting well. So I had to back out of the other project as well. So I lost both projects in hand. And of course, that is something, really heartbreaking, because you've lost two such good projects. But it takes, for me personally, it takes some time to get over, in the sense probably 2-3 days or 1 week at max. But it's not like I'm going to sit and cry over it. What's done is done. Just get up, get better, and just move on. So that's how it is. And even when it comes to auditions, I think there are so many people who deal with rejection, and acting is like a process of that. You have to get rejected to do better. You have to get up and do better, and that's what pushes you and motivates you to do, to improve in your craft. So I always take it as a learning. And of course, you do feel sad about it for like about a day or two, but then it's gone. Forget it. There's so many more things happening. Get on with that. Yeah.
I was going to say, only.
God. Yeah.
Look, it's okay. It's good. It's good. It's only a day or two. Otherwise, it can impact your work, I assume, right?
Yeah, because this industry is like that, and you have to be thick-skinned. Otherwise, you can't survive in the industry.
And that's another thing that comes to resilience.
Mhm.
And my question on resilience is, how resilient do you have to be in this profession? And what advice would you give other individuals about this, young actors?
See, when you're getting into acting, you have to know about everything that comes with it. There are people I know who've given hundreds, 200s of auditions, and they've hardly cracked even one or two. But their resilience is what pushes them forward. If you have that mindset where, okay, forget it, this is done. I want to do better. Where's the next one? That is what keeps you going. You cannot take things to heart. You have to be thick-skinned, as I mentioned. And when you get feedback, take it in a positive way and work on it, because everyone says it. There's so many people who say it for your own benefit. When you're getting feedback from casting directors or fellow actors, take it in a positive way and see how you can brush that up. So that is the whole point of resilience and staying strong in this industry.
So you say that a number of people go for hundreds of auditions and they don't land a role.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be the case?
See, it honestly depends from project to project, and directors and everyone part of it, producers and all of that. Usually it happens because they don't fit the character in look wise, and maybe they are looking for a different style of acting, a different way of acting, and they usually look for some nuances and points that they can pick out and feel like, okay, this is how the character would be, or this is how the character would act in a certain situation. And once they see what they have in a particular person, that's when they start shortlisting and finally come to the final actor that they want to cast.
Aadhya, what hobbies and interests do you have outside of acting?
So I love dancing. I've been a dancer since I was really young. I mean, you can say I've started dancing since I was 3, 4. And my mom always said that, I'm a gifted child. Like, I've had it in me. I've always had the love for arts, be it acting, be it dance. And yeah, I've always loved dancing. It's always made me feel really happy and at ease and light. And apart from that, I'm a badminton player as well. So I play badminton, and I was my school team captain in Singapore. So these are my hobbies. And apart from that, I love reading books. I'm an avid book reader. I just enjoy it. It just takes me to another space.
Okay, let's go to the sports first and then we'll go to the books, okay?
Yes, of course.
So I used to love sports too. I used to play every sport I have had my hand on.
Every
Soccer,
sport.
every sport.
Oh, you play
And
soccer?
I can still play soccer.
You can still play soccer?
I can play hockey.
Oh, wow.
I played badminton. My dad was a really good badminton player, so he taught me and my brother. And I've got so many certificates in table tennis. It's my favorite.
Wow. So you're an athlete
Then,
then.
oh, I wouldn't say an athlete. I just love sport. You know
You
what I
just
mean?
love sports. Yes, yes, I get
Yeah.
that.
And, I'd be in every, I think, match that went to play outside of my school. So
Yeah,
pretty much every match I'd be there.
that's great. I think that's an amazing thing, amazing quality to be having, especially in
Yeah.
school. Be
Yeah.
active and fit.
So it interests me about what interests you about badminton.
What interests me about badminton is so I did start off, it was like a ECA. So we had CCA and ECA in school, which is co curricular activities, and ECA is extracurricular activities. And this was after school. So badminton was my ECA, and they would train us for it. And I wanted to try it out. And my dad and my mom used to play badminton as well. So I used to play badminton with them even since before we had this CCA, ECA thing. And that's when I started brushing up my skills in badminton and focusing more on it in terms of as a hobby. I started playing it more often, even after school and with my friends and all that. So what interests me, I think it's just a sport which I caught on to very easily, and I've just enjoyed just having a racket sport. So that's what just made me like the sport. Yeah.
Great. Now you said you like reading. Let's talk about what you like reading.
Okay, so I like reading novels, fictional novels. um I'm more towards the romance genre, or thriller, murder, mystery. And yeah, so it's these two genres. I read more of romance books, and I get really excited when these series and movies are made on books, because I can proudly tell my friends and family that I've read the book, so I know what's going to happen. So yes, that's what I like reading.
Are you a John Grisham fan?
Sorry?
John Grisham?
No, I'm not really. I mean, more of a Colleen Hoover fan. I like reading her books. So I mean, I do like a bunch of other authors as well, but it's. I mean, I recently also read another Colleen Hoover book. So
Do you have a mentor or somebody who guides you in this industry?
I believe that everyone who gives you suggestions and guides you, and just suggests certain things to you, everyone is a mentor, and everyone is always saying something for the betterment of you in this industry. So that is one thing. But apart from that, I have my mom, who's always been there since the start. So she's always been my mentor in terms of, she's also been my icon in the sense that she knows how to style herself, she knows how to dress. So that's one thing I learned from her, and I'm really happy because now I have great fashion sense. And apart from that, she is my biggest critic, her and my dad. They talk to me about how I can improve in certain situations or certain scenes, what I can do better, and how we can make it more interesting. And also, when it comes to taking up projects or events or anything, I always go to her for help just for another point of view or another suggestion something like that. So, yeah.
Do they get involved in your script reading?
Involved in the sense,
Like, do they tell you, look, this role sounds really good?
yeah, I mean, they get really excited when it comes to script reading. It's usually my mom. My dad is, I mean, he's in Singapore, so he doesn't really know that much when we have like things going on. So when it comes to script reading, I go through the scripts, and I find it really interesting, and I just excitedly I want mom to be a part of it as well. And she goes through them, and she's like, oh wow, this is nice. So we share that because I don't want to be on my own just thinking, oh wow, this is exciting. I want someone to share it with. So yeah, she is a part of it.
It's always good to give your family an option to review the scripts as well, because that
Yeah.
tells you how the audience is going to react.
Yeah. So you get an audience perspective, an audience point of view from someone who's not in the industry. So that's important. Yeah.
What are some of the lessons that you have learned, Adya, through, learned about yourself through your acting?
Learned about myself. I feel like every character that I play, um, every shade, every every character that I play has given me something to learn. You know, like my first character, which I played in India, Shy in Bombay Begums, she taught me how to observe, be more of a listener and how to understand people better and, get that mature thinking. So that is something that I incorporated into my actual self. Like that's what Aadhya Anand incorporated. And when it came to my second character, which is also Aadhya in Crushed, so she taught me how to be sweeter, how to be more kind, how to be more loving. And so there are many things that you learn in this process, not just from characters, but also what goes, behind the camera. You start understanding why this cameraman is using this lens or why the director is telling me to do this. There's a lot that you learn from that. And there are many learnings along the way, be it even in a scene or in real life when you're just sitting waiting for the camera to set up and you're just talking to your co-actors about life or just having a normal conversation. You learn a lot with all of this. So yeah, there are little things that I've learned, and it's turned into a big whole book of learnings.
Do you also interact with a lot of the senior actors, I suppose is the right way to say it, on set?
Yeah, I think every actor is the same as, when you go on set. It's like the process is the same. Everything is the same. It's no different. And when I was on set for Bombay Begums, I was amongst, stalwarts. I was amongst senior actors who were great in their craft, and I've looked up to them. They're my inspiration. But at the same time, they've treated me like a baby. They've always made sure that I was okay, taken care of me, and I could always converse with them like I was one of them. And they did make me feel like that. And I think everyone just becomes one when you're on a set. It's all about love and passion for the same thing. That's what brings you all together. And I've always felt welcomed and loved on every set that I go to and on every project. So, yeah.
Talking about projects, what is in the pipeline for you?
In the pipeline, I have one mystery thriller series coming up. It's been announced already. It's called Knock Knock. So it is. So this character I've been manifesting for quite some time. Like this particular genre, mystery thriller, I've always wanted to be a part of it, and I got locked for one. So now it's set to release soon, pretty soon. I'm not sure when exactly, but yeah.
So you're working with Zarina Wahab.
Sorry?
Is it with Zarina ji?
No, it's not.
Okay, it's interesting because Zarina ji had an ad come up. Like she's also doing a movie, and all it was knock knock, knock knock, and that's
Okay.
the
Yeah,
trailer.
there are quite a few, There are quite a few teasers and all of that that's coming out right now, but it's not one of those. It's still in post production right now. So yeah, I'll let you know when it does release. You have to watch it.
I would love to.
Perfect.
Are you able to tell us what you're doing in that movie?
So I'm not. I mean, it was set to release on Halloween, but due to some technical errors, it had to be pushed. But there's no teaser, no trailer, no nothing that's been announced of it right now, so I won't be able to. But I'm sure very soon, before the end of this year or the start of next year, I would be able to give out something to the audience.
Are there any directors that you want to work with in the future?
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to be part of a classic love story by Dharma? Karan Johar, directed by Karan Johar, and be a part of an Imtiaz Ali film. I think these two are really on my bucket list. And when it comes to action, I've always loved the Singham series. So Rohit Shetty has to be one of them. So these are the ones on my list as directors. And as actors, I would love to be a part of movies with Deepika, sharing screen space with her. Who wouldn't? And I would really like to share space with Ranbir Kapoor and Siddharth Malhotra as well. I think
Yes, I
that's.
know about Siddharth Malhotra.
You know
He's
about.
pasted. Yes. He's pasted all over your Instagram. Your crush.
Yeah, he was.
He broke
Yes.
your heart, did he?
But yeah, these two are the ones.
Yes, he's married though.
Yeah, I know.
I feel the same way you do.
You do? Thank God
I
someone
do.
understands me.
He was my favorite.
Yeah, mine too. He still is.
Not anymore. Kiara can have him.
Yeah, I get that. It's okay.
If there's one thing you want your fans to know about you, what would that be? Because there's not a lot of things actors and actresses can share with their fans because they want to retain their private life naturally.
I think I have been pretty open with my entire, journey, my life, and all that. There is not I honestly cannot be thinking of even one thing which, I want to tell my audience particularly, which I've kept a secret because I've not kept anything like that. But what I want my audience to know, like what I want them to know is first of all, I love them. And what I want them to know is I'm an ordinary human being, just like everyone else. And them giving me immense support and so much love, I appreciate each and every one of them. What they usually think is that they're just going to see and just go unnoticed. But I really see each and every one of them, and it makes me feel so good. And yeah, without them, I wouldn't be here. So that's one thing that I want them to know. Nothing personal as such. So I've just put this out there.
Thank you, Aadhya, for joining me here today. I really, truly appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. It was really nice chatting with you.
I think you're magnificent. I do have I recently have started looking at your Instagram, and I've been looking at where you're going next, kind of thing, just to pick up pieces, like where do I think she's going to be? And I think you're going to be fantastic. Keep working hard and keep doing what you enjoy the most. Find a balance between the money aspect and the passion aspect, and you will be the most successful person on the face of this earth.
That's so sweet, Shruti. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.